first thing you want to do is make sure you have all your clips ready. And I recommend a 30 to 60 frame rate, but it's up to you. You can test out the different numbers for how smooth you want it to be. But first thing is you want to have motion tile applied to each clip. You can just copy my settings. And make sure you have mirror edges clicked on. And then you can just copy and paste this to each clip once you have the first one done, with just Control C and Control V. Alright, now once you have that, you're going to want to right click, New, Null Object, and cut it to your first clip's length with Control Shift D, and just drag it to the top of your clip, your first clip, and then duplicate it with Control D. And now you're going to want to do this for each clip you have that you want like the movement style on. But you can hold Shift, select both nulls, and then Control D it, and then you'll duplicate it. And then you can just drag to your other clips. So just repeat that. Once you get that done, you'll want to go to your first clip and link the clip to your null object, the first null object, and then link the first null object to your second one. But for this first movement, I'm just going to do a basic zoom out. So press S on your keyboard to bring up the scale, click the stopwatch, and then drag this keyframe to the end. And then you can adjust this number based on what you want, but I usually go for around 500. But it's all adjustable. So once you have your keyframes on here, highlight them and press F9 to easy ease them, or you can right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. That's up to you. Now for your graphs, you're going to want to have something like this. If you have the flow plugin, it will help you, but you can just copy this graph for your zoom out. See, zooms out, and you can adjust this more too so it zooms out faster. It's up to you. And you can also, if you want the transition faster, you can just move this right keyframe over. We'll highlight both of them and hold Alt while you move the keyframe so it keeps your graph. And it's all adjustable depending on what you want. But for this next transition, I want to zoom in onto his head, because the next clip is the side of his head, so I want to zoom in on it. So I'll open up Scale, click the stopwatch, Position, click the stopwatch, and then press U twice to open up the, and then I'll go to the end. I'll probably zoom in around 500. And then I'll move the position so it's on his face. I'm gonna go a little past his face. Probably right about, yeah, probably there. Then I'll just move these keyframes to the end. Highlight both of them. For the transition out of your clip, you're gonna want to copy this graph. Something like this. Now it doesn't look that good right now, but you can fix that by turning on motion blur for your clip and null objects, and it will look better. As you can see. But for this next one, we're gonna have this clip zoomed out a little bit to zoom in transition. But so we have to link the clips again to the null to the second null. A lot of this is just repeating the same thing over and over again. That's all it is. So we're gonna open up the scale property. And for zooming in, I do around 35 to 50. It all depends, honestly. Do 45 for now. And then don't forget your position too if you want position movement. Just bring it down to the left, bottom left a little bit. And then so one thing you can do is line up your clips. So like when it changes, as you can see, his head, it's like around the same size. It's like flow, like you're flowing the clips together. And you can adjust the keyframes so it looks better. See, I mean that's pretty good, but it's not gonna be perfect unless you have the exact like same clip. Like if his face was facing forward on this, it would look probably much better. But for the next step, you're gonna want to do the same graph that we did on this one. I'll show you it again. So as you can see, his face is zoomed in too much. So you might want to just back it up a little bit, maybe bring it down by 5 or 10. So I'm going to put it on 35. We'll see how that looks. I think it's better, but honestly, I'm going to move the position down to the bottom left more. See how it looks. And yeah, for the second clip, make sure you have your null object 1 frame before your clip starts. It'll make it smoother. I think that looks good. For this next transition, I want to slide up. Open up the position, right click on it, separate dimensions, and click the stopwatch on the Y position for slide up or down. And then go towards the end and slide up. Don't be afraid to play with around like big numbers like 1500, 2000, or even more. Depends on how smooth you want your slide to be. Just easy ease those keyframes. Copy my graph. Same graph as before for this next transition after on clip 3 basically. Make sure you have your clip to your link to your null, and then make sure you can separate the dimensions, Y position. Mark your keyframes. Same graph as before. Make sure your first null is 1 frame before the clip. Also, turn on motion blur. There you go. For this last transition, I want to zoom in onto his face. So I'm going to open up the position and scale on it, the second null object. And I'm going to zoom in probably about 500, same as before. Go a little to the above his ear. Make sure you bring the keyframes to the end. Easy ease. Same graph as before. Something like this. So his head, they're kind of lined up. We'll make it a little bit. We'll make it better. So make sure you, for the next one, make sure you link your clip and your null. Oops, scale, position, again, I know, and say let's try 45 this time. Actually, we might not need position on this. I mean, it's already lined up pretty well. So I'm going to try it without it for now. And we can always go back and do it, but at the end. Yeah, we definitely need position. Yeah. See, this is where you gotta just test things for yourself, because you never know what a clip might need. Down to the right. 0. Make sure you put on motion blur, because without it, it looks pretty bad. Alright, well, I put the wrong graph on. Make sure you put the right graph. Your ins, well, if you have the flow plugin, it makes it easier because you can save your graphs. But for the in transition, like this, like the beginning of a clip, do something like, do a graph like this, and then for the out, that will work too, and you can adjust it, make it faster. It's like no movement on that at all. As you can see, this is just the rough draft, I guess you could call it, of the AMV. Doesn't look that good right now, but I'll show you what it can turn out to be. Now for the blur I used in this AMV, I used directional blur, which I can show you what I did. It's pretty easy. Just have an adjustment layer. Line it up. It doesn't have to be directly lined up, but something like that. Now go to Effects and Presets, search for Directional Blur. Put it on there. Now whatever direction the zoom is going, or the transition, I always tried to aim it like in that direction. So this is kind of going like to the top right, so I'll line it up the best I can. So once you got directional blur on in the direction, you want to keyframe the blur length, and I did around 150 for this edit, but it depends on what you want. Again, make sure you have the 150 keyframe in the middle where the clip change. Go to the end, set to 0. Go to the beginning, set it to 0. F9 your keyframes, easy ease them. Now for the graph, you're gonna want something like this. Something similar could work, or will work. Let's see, it already makes it better. And also for this edit, I did duplicate the directional blur 2 more times, so I had 3, just to give it extra blur. Let's see, I'll show you before and after without the blur on. See, it's decent, but the blur just makes it way smoother, in my opinion. But once you get that on your first 2 clips, you can just duplicate one of them, line it up. So this transition's going up, so I just changed that direction, and then I just duplicate it again. And make sure you have it above both clips. You can see much better. And do the same thing with this one. So let's go into the the right again. So I'll just do it like that. There you go. Well, that's the simplest way to make a simple AMV zooms or transitions, whatever you want to call them, with blur. Now, if you'd like to see this full edit, I will link it. You can see it in the top right corner of the video. Besides that, thank you for watching and please subscribe.